This is News 4 In Depth.
And welcome to News 4 San Antonio In Depth. Friends, I'm Jonathan Martinez. As the school year comes to an end, we are taking a deep dive into the report cards of your child's school. So how are local districts overcoming the challenges that they are facing this year? Everything from learning and staffing to funding, and of course, the debate over school choice. Plus, we will have all of your top stories in today's News 4 Snapshot and even a closer look at your 4-zone forecast. But first, we do start tonight with the challenge that most districts have faced as of late, staffing issues. We reached out to multiple districts across the city to ask how they are doing with filling all of those vacancies. 3 of the largest districts, Northside, Northeast, and San Antonio ISD, all getting back to us. They tell us although hiring does remain a struggle, the good news is they have less vacancies compared to the 2022-23 school year. School officials with Northside and Northeast ISD say they are focusing on filling positions in special education. Meantime, San Antonio ISD tells us they are hiring teachers daily and anticipate that the majority of core classrooms will be filled prior to the start of the 24-25 school year. Right now, their greatest need for teachers is in bilingual and special education classrooms. Well, districts are offering incentives to help fill those positions. Northside is offering a sign-on payment as well as a relocation payment for new hires. SAISD recently proposed an increase in stipends during its most recent board session regarding the budget. Meantime, the finger pointing between lawmakers over public school funding, that is heating up, sadly, with children and teachers caught in the middle. Despite a regular session and 4 special sessions, no new funding has been passed by the legislature. And as a result, some districts are facing a huge budget shortfall. For some, that means laying off staff, including teachers. And just last week, 39 House Democrats wrote a letter to Governor Greg Abbott asking him to call a special session so they can appropriate more funds to public schools. Instead, the governor pointed the finger at districts themselves, saying they put COVID-19 funds to the wrong use.
This is not an opportunity to blame students. I think the governor would be better served to support the schools.
We have worked extremely hard in our recovery efforts and getting students back on track, back on grade level. A lot of progress has been made, and so to not acknowledge that work, well, it's just a shame.
Right now, Texas ranks 42nd in the nation in per pupil funding. Now, school choice is at the forefront of Governor Abbott's legislative priorities. In fact, the governor now backing Republican opponents of those who voted with House Democrats to block school voucher plans just last year. The News 4 team's Mariah Medina recently spoke with the governor on his plans to pass school choice.
Governor Greg Abbott is certainly pushing to get candidates who are pro-school choice elected after 21 House Republicans voted against party lines to stop his school choice package from becoming a reality this past legislative session. Those against the governor's plan say it'll take funding from already underfunded schools. But Abbott says that's completely false.
I put a package together that would have provided for school choice, a teacher pay raise, $6 billion more in funding, and putting an end to the STAR test in the state of Texas. And they said, no, we don't want that. We don't want your money, because they want to control their monopoly.
They being teachers unions that are opposed to the governor's universal school choice program, which would give parents what the state funds for a student to put toward tuition at the school of their choice, including private schools. Northside AFT President Melina Espiritu Azocar says the governor's proposal has serious flaws.
And we're certainly willing and ready to have a conversation with the governor. But what we don't want is funding to be removed from public education and put into private education with no stipulations or guidance. That's what we don't want to do.
So how popular is school choice among Texans? Well, a poll conducted by the Texas Politics Project at UT Austin last month found that 55% of Texans support a school choice program. Now, whether Abbott's backing will be enough to get new representatives who support school choice into office remains to be seen, as 4 of those races are already in a runoff with early voting underway. We'll continue to follow the outcome of those races.
While that legislative battle continues to brew, the I-Team has learned that tens of thousands of students across the state and here in the Alamo City are already exercising school choice. Data from the Texas Education Agency showing that students are leaving traditional school districts for public charter schools. In SAISD, which has more than 44,000 students, more than 13,000 have transferred out. Northeast ISD, more than 9,000 have transferred out of the district's 57,000 students. In Northside ISD, reduced by 17,000 of the district's district's 101,000. Still, that doesn't mean traditional districts are drastically different from public charter schools. In fact, districts like SAISD have their own charter schools and they take applications from across the city. But parents like Inga Cotton, the founder of San Antonio Charter Moms, said it comes down to one thing: is it right and a right fit for your child?
Like, our group is still called San Antonio Charter Moms, but we have post a reminder every month that, like, no, you can't ask about any type of school, because what really matters is the experience that the student is having in the classroom. Like, are they happy to be there? Do they feel safe? Are they excited about learning? And that can happen in any type of school.
Her nonprofit has actually become one of the largest resources for public charter schools in any school in the city. She, along with other volunteers, work year-round to help parents navigate the educational landscape. When school starts this fall, many SAISD students will be going to new schools. The district voted to close 15 schools and repurpose some of those schools as well. While some students plan to leave the district, we're told 90% of students who wanted to be matched to a new school did in fact get that match. The district is also working to place faculty and staff at other schools for the 24-25 school year. While SAISD is closing schools in part to cut costs, the News 4 I-team learned the district had to pay $300,000 to AT&T earlier this year. This after the phone company claimed the district failed to cancel services at its former headquarters. Initially, AT&T billed the district $2.2 million, but the district was able to reduce that amount in mediation. However, the district paid its legal team $316,000 in fees to fight the bill. In addition to announcing the closure of 15 schools, a heating system failure forced the district to cancel classes during a cold snap in January.
This is supposed to be one of the biggest districts, though, in San Antonio, and they can't even provide heat for our kids. But here they are, they're going to provide $300,000 for a mistake they didn't do. I mean, come on.
After News 4 I-team reporter Jay Avila broke the story about the bill dispute, SAISD paid another $19 grand in legal fees to fight our open records request. The district sued the state attorney general's office after the AG ruled it had to release records related to the dispute to News 4. Well, multiple layers of human error dating back 20 years. That's how an after-action report describes the system-wide heating failures that forced San Antonio ISD to shut down all of its schools. It happened back in January, if you'll remember. The district's Board of Trustees voted to accept the findings and recommendations on the report looking into the HVAC crisis to make sure it never happens again. The board committee's report finding that SAISD did not adequately prepare for mid-January's hard freeze, but did budget for ongoing equipment maintenance or staff training, and also did not make consistent use of its work order and inventory systems. The committee says it also kept in mind a pair of underlying causes: the underfunding of Texas public schools and the large number of aging buildings the district operates.
I want just to assure that we're going to work on this. The board is committed and the administration committed to prioritizing this, but it's not an issue that is going to be solved overnight.
The committee says the district's right-sizing plan to close 15 of its schools will help with some of these issues, in addition to setting aside a percentage of future bond money for maintenance concerns. Now, we heard a lot about learning loss during the pandemic, and now schools are seeing a rebound in testing results. Data that we pulled from the Texas Education Agency shows that the average STAR test scores in reading in particular declined over the past few years in some grade levels. We talked with Northside ISD, who says their students are performing above the state average in almost every subject. They say a big part of their success, teachers are provided with materials and the resources to help keep students on track.
We ensure that students are learning a guaranteed and viable curriculum, that instruction is aligned to the state standards and taught in such a way that students have the opportunity to master the standards.
She goes on to say that students who are having a hard time learning are also provided with additional resources. Hey, STAR grading is a bit different this year. An automated scoring engine will grade the STAR exam instead of humans. The switch is a cost-saving measure for the state and designed to be more efficient as well. We're told STAR test results will be released sometime in June. 21 offices closed and 311 jobs cut. That's the effect on the state's ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, at the UT system. The UT system chancellor shared those numbers with other university leaders. Other schools have tried doing the same, but UT made more changes trying to match what's being done at Texas A&M. The chancellor also revealing how the job cuts will impact budgets.
We estimate that over $25 million will be saved or reallocated to other university mission-related purposes by closing 21 DEI offices, eliminating 311 full and part-time positions that performed now prohibited DEI duties, and canceling 681 contracts, programs, and trainings of now prohibited DEI activities.
Now, there could still be future recommendations on how policy changes could be pitched for the next Texas legislative session. School safety is also top of mind for many parents and students. That was a focus of one of our in-depth newscasts back in March. You can watch that school safety in-depth newscast on our News 4 San Antonio YouTube channel. Just click on the podcast there that you see at the top of the page. Summer break almost here, but some districts will still be serving students through the summer months. We will explain just ahead. And the proposed water rules that could impact when you're allowed to water your lawn. That's next on News 4 San Antonio in depth.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Vega, and this is your News 4 snapshot. The San Antonio Water System Board is working to change the watering rules for all SAWS customers. It's an effort to conserve water. They propose new rules, including billing water wasting violators directly on their SAWS bills. Another change pertains to regulating drip irrigation. One of the biggest changes would be the hours when you can water your lawn, modifying watering only from 5 to 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. to midnight. SAWS and City Council would have to approve the proposals before going into effect. On Friday, as we mark 2 years since the Uvalde school tragedy, we're getting a look at the progress of the new elementary school that will replace Robb Elementary. You can see construction crews hard at work. The school is expected to be complete in September of 2025. And that's a look at tonight's News 4 Snapshots.
Still to come tonight, how some local districts are making sure that children are fed over the summer months. Well, all day we've been asking you, how would you grade your child's school? And that right there is a live look, in fact, at all the results. 37% of you saying A, 29 D, 20 say C, and 14% saying B. You can always scan the QR code that you see on your screen to also weigh in. Also, right now, with the school year winding down, students and their families are preparing for the summer break, but some school districts will stay open to serve families. Districts like Northside ISD and Northeast ISD are preparing for their summer insecurity food programs. We're told the food will mirror the meals served during the school year to provide consistency for the children and to ensure that they don't go hungry.
Just like during the summer, kids sometimes can fall down in their reading and their math skills. Well, they also have a gap in getting basic nutrition in certain parts of San Antonio.
Those distribution locations will be open to all students 18 and under, we're told, regardless of their district.